Hey everyone, it's the Gadget Guru. This is going to be some video footage of my new, my new deck actually, that I'm going to be showing you guys. It's Self-Destruct Button. Now, if you don't know what that deck is, it uses the card called Self-Destruct Button. Basically, when your life points are 7,000 lower than your opponent, you can activate it and it makes the duel a draw. Now, you're probably asking, well, why the hell would I want to make the duel a draw? And what you do is you use Self-Destruct Button over and over and over and over until you get into time. And then about a minute before time, you use Self-Destruct Button and then you side deck real quick. Now, that means when you're done side decking, time is called. Now, at that point, you can side in 10 or 12 stall cards and 3 heal cards. And then what the deck is it goes from all draw and self-destruct support, it goes into all draw, stall, and life gain. So in 5 turns, when you're in time, you automatically win the game. So it becomes a very, very powerful deck. And I did a lot of duels, but I mainly used the duels in which A, I was playing some form of competitive deck, and B, I did not start. I tried to use duels, I didn't start in, because when I go first, it's unfair, because they don't have a chance to play anything. So I tried to use only duels they started in, to show you how effective this deck really is. And it really can pull this off first turn every game, just ding, 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 ding. It's all draw, and then just final self-destruct button support. And so in this first one, you see him versing Insectors. He gets off his evolves our crap first turn, activates D-Fissure, sets triple back row, and ends. And I'm like, alright, my turn. I draw. Now, this is where it gets fun. He does shoots me. That is like the worst case scenario, because I'm losing a monster automatically from my hand, and that's going to slow down my draw engine a little bit. But I had no fear. I'm like, okay, I can get over this, So I go ahead and I let him pick whatever one. Like, those monsters don't even matter. The monsters don't matter. They're just draw bait. That's all they are. So it doesn't matter which one he picks. I'm still going to keep drawing. So he picks Plasma, so I'm like, okay, I'll send Plasma back to the deck. And like the whole time, like, I'm just like sitting here going, come on, come on, come on, come on, because I'm so happy to play this deck. This deck is crazy, and it's fun, and it makes me go psycho when I think about it. So first I activate Into the Void. I get to draw a free card, and during the end phase I have to discard my hand. Whoop-de-frickin-do. During the end phase I'm going to win anyway, or have won. So I play Destiny Draw, I discard Dreadmaster, or banish him, I draw 2. So I draw Upstart and Destiny Draw. I'm like, lol, okay. Upstart, I get to draw a card, they gain 1,000. That's good, I like them getting 1,000. I get a Lure, I'm like, oh, more draw cards. So I play One Day Apiece, I draw a card. I get traded, I'm like, holy crap. So I play a Lure. Or I play Destiny Draw. Sorry, I play Destiny Draw, discard Dreadmaster, or banish Dreadmaster, draw 2. So I draw Solemn, and I draw Plasma, and I'm like, oh, this is retarded. And you run 3 of each. Like, you run 3 Plasma, 3 Dreadmaster, and 3 whatever. So I use trade in, banish him, draw 2. So I draw Dreadmaster. I'm just like, oh my goodness, it's stupid, it's broken, I love it. So I play the Allure of Darkness, I draw 2, and I get the Self-Destruct button, and I'm like, okay, I need something to play it with, but I still got draw cards, so let's keep drawing. So I banish Dreadmaster. I activate the another One Day Apiece, because it doesn't matter, they're just draw cards, that's all they are. And I'm not running an activate Pot of Duality. I'm not running what do you call it? I can't think of its name. The monster lets you keep drawing. Royal Magical Library, just because it's not consistent in this deck. So I add the Wall of Revealing Light to hand, and I've got my game condition right here. Bam, Wall of Revealing Light, bam, Self-Destruct button. But I could have added Inspection. I had Inspection and Wall of Revealing Light. Just Wall of Revealing Light is more of a shock, because now I can set 4 monsters and a back row. Now if I play the Inspection, sometimes they get really curious and they'll MST it. But in this way, if I set 4 and he MSTs, he's got about a 50-50 chance of hitting my stuff, but usually doesn't MST, so don't wait and see what I do, because they want you to play the Wall of Revealing Light first, and then they're going to MST it. And then I'm like, okay, in your standby, Wall of Revealing Light, activate, pay 7, and I've got the Solemn Judgment, so there's nothing he can do. There's nothing he can do. Play it, I pay 7,000 as the cost, it doesn't matter what he does to that. I then play Self-Destruct button. And that's all there is to it. And even if he had a response, which he didn't, I would play Solemn Judgment. And at that point, that's game. And like everybody I played today, we got like all mad at me. What's the point of having a deck that does nothing but stall, or draw, or whatever? The point is to stall until you hit time and decide to heal and be like, hi, I'm Derp, how are you today? So basically he's not happy with me, which nobody ever is. So he continues to nerd rage, and I just end the video because I really don't want to deal with it. I'm just like, whatever, you can go be angry on your own. I just brought up Camp Studio. I'm like, no, done with this. Next duel. So, and like I said, I'm picking this duel. I went first, but I like this duel. Like, this duel was like amazing because it shows a very good concept. I do this all the time. I'll go first, and then you'll see my hand. It's just hilarious. It's just game over right there. That's game. It's auto game. And you're probably like, how's auto game? Well, let me show you. I'm gonna set 3, 4, and 5. Now, even if they have MST during their standby, oh, I didn't set the D-draw. My bad. I'm a noob. Leave me alone. So during your standby, I play inspection. Now, if you don't know what inspection does, it says you can pay 500 life points during your opponent's standby to look at one card in their hand. So during your standby, I use inspection 14 times because you can use it any number of times. It's not once per turn. So I use it 14 times and pay 7,000 life points. Guess what? That puts him 7,000 higher than me. Guess what comes next? You guessed it. Self-destruct button. Bam. Just auto. Set, end, draw, set, end, draw, set, end, draw. Like, you can do this over and over and over. I could even drawed it out too, because I could have started drawing and, you know, like, wasted time. That's the thing about this deck. You can sit there and use all your draw cards and stuff just to waste time. And then during their standby, you can go use inspection. I look at a card in your hand. Use inspection, look at the card in your hand, and not considered stalling because you're resolving your effects. That's what's stupid about this deck. It's amazing and retarded because of how ridiculous it is. It purposely stalls and uses game mechanics against them. It's disgusting. Now, like I said, I tried to use ones where I didn't go first, but those are very far between. I don't know why. With this deck, I start first. So I started with 1 day piece, drew a card, played trade in, discarded, drew a card, played upstart, draw, draw for it, play 1 day of peace. It's just like the whole deck is just draw. And I've got trade in, and I've got all the other stuff. So I activate the trade in, I pitch the plasma, I get to draw 2 off it. Now, this duel was very interesting because I don't know how this one would have resolved. Now, I did good on this one. I think I would have won this one. Unfortunately, he quit. Like, he just didn't want to have any part of it. I kept going because I wanted to show you what I would end up with. And this is like a worst case scenario, mind you, like a worst case scenario. So I add it to my hand because I've already got the D-draw. So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna add it to my hand. I put the other top of my deck, shuffle, etc. So I get all that done. And then I activate the D-draw, I pitch the Dogma, that's the other one, Dogma, pitch the Dogma, draw 2. Now, I end up with a very interesting hand here. I play Into the Void, obviously. I end up with a field of double Reckless Creed, Destiny Draw, and Wall of Living Light. And I also have a Catavel Omen. So, worst case scenario, if he played Heavy Storm on me, worst case scenario, and yes, I just set the D-draw, I just discarded the cat out of turn, but it didn't matter. Like, worst case scenario, I would have had double Reckless Greed, Wall of Living Light, a draw card, and then the cat. So even if he played Heavy Storm, I activate Reckless, I draw 4, and then he attacks the cat, I put Self-Destruct Button on top of deck, and then I just add it to my hand next turn with a draw card. That was worst case scenario. Unfortunately, I didn't get to play that one out. I really wanted to. I didn't lose a single game. This deck is ridiculous. And in this one, I just go... set 5 and end. I mean, there's like that's what this deck does. Like every game, like I didn't even record most of them because that's just what it does. Like I don't even have to use my draw cards. But literally, I'm just like, okay, in your standby, play Wall of Living Light. I pay 7,000. You know, do that and play Self-Destruct. GG. And like I said, I cut most of these duels short because they just started raging at me because they hated this deck. And that's what people do. Like, they get really mad at me and they start cussing me out and stuff. So I just cut all that short. But the deck is amazing. Like, it really is. Like, it just, every game, it's just so consistent. Draw. And really, you can put a game into overtime really easily. It's just, you don't even have to try, really. Like I said, I start with first turn. Inspection and my Self-Destruct button. Game over. The only card people can even play to try and stop this deck is Solemn Judgment. And I didn't get solemned one time, like not once. I would have recorded a lot more duels, but these end up going up to about 15 minutes, so I can't upload any more than that. I'll probably be doing more playtesting sessions. I just want one person to Solemn Judgment me, just one, a single person, but I haven't had anyone do it yet, so we'll have to see how. Well, like I said, I'll have to see how that goes. So this dude's obviously playing plants with like Lightsworn add-ins and whatnot. So he does all his shenanigans, sets his Raikou, sets a bunch of back row, you know, does, or he doesn't even set back row, that's right, there's other guy set back row. This guy just sets the Raikou, and then I drew my Solemn, so it's just like, even if he had a response, it doesn't matter, I've got my Solemn Judgment. And obviously you always set 5 just in case you go into their standby and they decide, like, you go into standby and you use inspection and start using, and they decide to randomly MST one of your back rows, just in case. You always do that. That way they have a very small chance of hitting your self-destruct button. So he reads inspection, he goes into a standby, I use inspection 14 times, and then I flip over final countdown. He has a problem, he wants to look up the ruling. I believe this is the guy who said he wanted to look up the ruling. And then I played Final Countdown, or Final Countdown, sorry, I've been playing Final Countdown way too much. Played Self-Destruct Button, and, you know, he was just like, what is Self-Destruct Button? So, that game, you know, was very interesting, because he just kind of sat there and looked at me and didn't have words for it, so I just ended it. Like, it went on even further. Like, all of these duels were like, I don't know, 5-10 minutes long, just because they sat there nerd raging at me. That's the only reason. And this dude was like weird, I don't know, he's like, good luck, you'll need it. And I was just like, okay, whatever. So I proceeded to duel him, and he goes first. And I made a video about this later. This is gonna be dealing with Dumbasses 5, because this thing was retarded. But anyways, here he plays Upstart, and then he plays Hand Destruction, and this is what's funny. This is part of what dealing with Dumbasses is. He tries to tell me what cards to discard. No, you don't freaking tell me what cards to discard. I choose. So he's like trying to tell me to discard 2 cards, and I'm like, yeah, of my choice, thank you. You don't get to pick. And again, he starts trying to pick. I'm like, no, dude, I'm not discarding those. You can knock it off. It's just like, I hate it when people do that. They're like, oh yeah, I get to discard cards out of your hand. No, you don't. Read your card. So I go ahead, I draw. I'm just like, lol, okay, game over. Because like with this hand, there's no way I cannot draw a win condition. So I just activate Into the Void, draw. I always activate Into the Void first because it's just a 1-for-1. That's all it is. Then I activate One Day of Peace because it's just a 1-for-1. I save all my D draws and stuff to last, and I've got my win condition right there. But I didn't even see the inspection. Like I really didn't. I thought I drew Upstart, and I'm like, or I thought I drew something else, and I'm just like, yeah, whatever. I still have to keep drawing, so I'm just like, activate Upstart. But this shows you how draw crazy this deck is. I mean, it's just draw. And that's just what the deck does. It just draws like crazy, and it's got the dualities and the One Day of Peace, and like I said, I can just keep drawing forever, pretty much. I mean, it's crazy. And like I said, I felt kind of like a knob because I didn't realize I had the inspection in my hand, and I was like, oh yeah, I got Wall of Revealing Light, dude, awesome. I won the game. It's kind of funny because when I set Wall of Revealing Light, I realized I had the inspection, and I'm like, oh derp, I am such a freaking moron. So I realized that afterwards. So this duel is a bit longer than it was supposed to be, but I was just like, yeah, whatever. And then like when he ends, he's like, you're up, and I'm just like, okay. So I set all that. I didn't set the duality because I didn't really care. He didn't. I know he's playing Exodia or something ridiculous, so it doesn't matter to me. And then of course he has a problem. He's like, why'd you discard your hand? And, he looks at my graveyard and he can't figure it out. I'm like, dude, Into the Void. See why you do that? It's like Into the Void. But anyways, he goes on to just be a derp. Oh god. And like I said, I'll be dealing with Dumbasses 5, so I'll get that up and ready for you guys soon. And he was saying I can't do it and this and that, and I offered to draw, and I said during your standby activate inspection 14 times and activate self-destruct, and I offered the draw, and he's like, well, you can't do that, you're cheating. And it's just like, excuse me? What do you mean I'm cheating? So yeah, it was pretty ridiculous, just to say the least.